Robert Eggers has a very particular style. He establishes an anomaly in the mix of the current blend of blockbuster films, and part of his style can be attributed to his work with his cinematographer Jarin Blaschke, which he's worked with on all of his films to date. But it's not only the cinematography that sets his films apart. Like many other directors that share a passion for creating unique cinematic experiences, Robert Eggers has managed to create a Viking story that feels like one of a kind.
I knew that it should be a revenge story, partially because that's just most of these Viking stories are revenge stories, but a good revenge movie works. And I felt that if I could find a really simple, mythic, clear tale that this audience could relate to and understand, then I could indulge in the material world and the inner and religious and mythological world more than if the story was complex.
Unlike a lot of period films and shows that tend to forget the small things in a story, from the garment choices to the vernacular, the Northman feels connected to when and where it's meant to be set. From hair and makeup, costume and weaponry designs, the entire story feels accurate, and not only historically accurate for a visual purpose, but for the actual narrative itself.
The story of Amleth that was written by the Danish historian Saxo Grammaticus, and Amleth was the source material for Shakespeare's Hamlet, also known as The Lion King. And so when I had this story, uncle kills dad, steals mom, son goes on revenge. Everybody knows this. This just works. So that was really exciting.
The combination of a historically accurate film in terms of art design and weaponry, to the age-old revenge story that's been used again and again throughout every form of storytelling, makes for a gripping story that takes us as the viewer on the journey with the protagonist, and we get to experience every moment as he does. The story fits perfectly in this Viking-era world. Though it's a repetitive narrative, it's a refreshing take on this story, and fits the world that Robert Eggers created perfectly.
I don't do anything that I am not insanely passionate about because there's just not time in life for it, and it's so hard to make a film anyway. And the approach of trying to do something historically accurate, the great thing for me about it is that everybody knows what we're after. Everybody knows what we're after. We know that we're after this thing. So it aligns everybody. And we also, because we had the Viking historians working with us, like Neil Price and Johanna Katrin Friedrichsdotter, and we also had a lot of people who were working on the film, creating wardrobe and creating props and things, who were part of the living history and experimental archaeology community, who become Vikings on the weekend. So you have a lot of people who have passion invested in figuring this stuff out. And so that makes the other people around them more passionate, And then all of a sudden, you have core background playing enslaved people coming up to me with something that they read, and so everyone gets passionate about the goal.
A lot of current films are action films, or at least have a subgenre or core plot points that contain lots of action. But a lot of the time, the fights and battles sometimes feel crafted just for spectacle and not for purpose. That's not at all to say that every fight scene is showy and pointless. But what the Northman achieves is action with vital purpose. The purpose that isn't just to carry us to the next scene, but the vital progression the characters need in order to survive and or to move forward.
The Northman is a story that everyone can relate to and be familiar with. It is the story of a son seeking his father's vengeance. It's a story about family dynamics. It's a story about love, and an exciting adventure movie. I think that we think we know Viking stories and we think we know these kinds of epics like this. And, you know, to a certain degree, we do. I'm making a movie for a broad audience in a way that I never have before. It really is intended to be something that like everyone can enjoy and eat their popcorn to. You know, there are set piece action sequences, which is something that I've never done before. But also, because it's character driven, like hopefully you walk away thinking about the movie and, you know, as much as you also were literally entertained.